Just half a minute. Let a few more people join. Everybody's rushing to get into the room now, I think. I think everybody's rushing because they're eager to hear what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, I think we're ready to make a start. A very good afternoon to everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. It's a great pleasure to have you with us today, and I will say also welcome back, because I have seen some names on our list for today who are joining us again for another of our webinars. As you know, we're at the moment addressing the area of well-being. This is our second topic in our current series. We're of course looking at all different aspects. We began last week looking at physical well-being and a lovely concept of how to set our goals for our fitness. And today we're going to be looking at nutrition. And over the next few weeks, we'll be following on. We actually have another one today at 7 o'clock. Whoever can join us, please do, which will again be looking at our physical well-being, and then we'll also be looking at things like personal budgeting, optimism, relationships with our adolescents, the homework balance, and some other topics. So take a look if you haven't had the chance to do so. My name is Sophie Giriago, for those of you that I'm meeting for the first time. Hi. We also have with us today Joanna Brioni, and we're part of the EIMF team.
Hello everyone.
Anybody who will know us better will know that we call ourselves EIMF, European Institute of Management and Finance. And of course, we're not actually very well known for our well-being, as actually what we really specialize is more on professional training and development. But we also recognize, of course, the importance of well-being, which is why we're introducing this series at the moment. For those of you that are new, a few words about ourselves. We are a training provider. We have a strong specialization in financial services and corporate services. Our learning areas include areas of personal development, regulations, technical techniques, and various other things revolving around banking, legal, accounting, just to mention a few of the areas. We do e-learning, we have live online, and of course we're all looking forward to returning to our classrooms as we slowly move forward from COVID. Those of you, of course, who do know us will know that we're a team that's very dedicated to learning and development, so we're here to offer advice. Feel free to call us. We advise professionals, we advise school leavers, graduates, so even if it's just a question of what to do for your personal professional development, please feel free to give us a call. So today, what are we actually here to do today? Of course, today we're going to be looking at nutrition, tips to boost our energy. I think most of you will agree with me that we have very hectic work schedules, so it's very important to be able to maintain our energy levels, not only through the day, but I would actually use the word beyond, because we often leave our workplace to carry on with our busy days and do many other things. So I think it's going to be a very nice and important topic to hear, and we're very much looking forward to hearing the insights from today's expert. Before I move on to introduce our presenter of today, just a few things about today. Feel free to ask questions. You can ask your questions via the chat. We will be having a Q&A session at the end, so depending on how things move along, we can address some questions as we go along. Otherwise, we will address them at the end in the Q&A section. So please do use the Q&A section or even the chat to ask your questions, and we'll be coming back to that a little bit later on. Of course, today it's with great pleasure that we have with us Andri Pandeli. Andri herself is a clinical and sports nutritionist. She has extensive experience both overseas and locally. Having completed her degree and 2 masters in the UK, Andri actually stayed in the UK to do some research. And a study that I personally, when I was reading it, thought was very interesting, was actually for the Essex County Council, where Andre had worked on a study that was aiming to reduce obesity in children, young children 9 to 12, which I thought was actually something very well worth looking into. And in fact, the study got itself an award, if I remember correctly, Essex Healthy Eating Award. So well done for that, and I think a very interesting and topic worth exploring. Here in Cyprus, Andre now works with people of all ages, children, adults and everybody. She offers advice, nutrition plans and many other bits of information and advice surrounding the area of nutrition. So I think without any further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Andre. Andre, welcome. It's a great pleasure to have you with us. Let's hear what you have to share with us today. Andre.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So happy to speak with you today and share with you some nice nutrition tips on how to become better, healthier, and definitely increase your productivity at work. So I think we're ready to start. So today we will speak about healthy eating and how important it is, and especially how important it is to eat healthy at work, because we spend a lot of our time at work. It's very important to be happy at work, and definitely by eating right, we increase our happiness, our productivity increases as well. We will talk about some nutrition tips and nutrition snacks and what is best to take with us while we are at work. And we will speak about some recommendations. So let's start. So it's very important to eat healthy. It plays a big role for our health. Eating healthy, it reduces the risk for cardiovascular diseases, some types of cancers, and definitely the type 2 diabetes. And we can even prevent osteoporosis if we eat healthy. If you have any question about these diseases, we can talk about it later. It also reduces the stress on our body. We are also stressed nowadays, especially when we work so many hours throughout the day. When we eat healthy, it helps us to build a solid and an enduring foundation for our body. It also reduces the oxidation and inflammation. It definitely helps us to reduce our body weight. It increases longevity, and definitely has a profound effect on our productivity at work.
I think we've lost Andre for a minute there. Let's see if she can get her connection back. Let's give Andre a minute to see if she's able to get back. While we wait for Andre to join us, let me remind you all of some of the other upcoming topics, so that if you want to have a look, you can do so. Let me just get the list here for you. Okay, so as I said before, at 7 today, we're going to have another session that's to do with fitness, the nuts and bolts of achieving fitness, our fitness goals. So that'll be something to look for. We have personal budgeting, and we included personal budgeting because it's actually an area that causes a lot of stress for people. And because our whole theme revolved around well-being, we thought it would be nice to actually add something that will help people to maybe take away a few things to know how to manage their finances and perhaps alleviate a little bit of that stress level that the topic often creates for people. We have also included the topic of work-home balance, which I'm sure is an understandable topic for many of our listeners today. For sure, those of you that have families, myself included, it is a big issue. We feel guilty when we're at work that we should be with our families. When we're with our families, we feel guilty because we're not at work. So I think that's another very interesting area to look and listen to that help us improve our well-being in that area. We'll also be looking at another webinar that covering optimism, which is another very interesting topic to consider. And the last session in July, we'll be looking at our relationships with our adolescents. So again, I'm sure those of you with kids and especially adolescents will be very keen to listen and hear what our expert psychologists will have to say on that as we try to improve our relationship with our adolescents. So I think we have Andre back. Andre, are you with us?
Yes, Sophie, sorry about that.
Okay.
I think it was the internet connection.
Okay, so we'll let Andre continue from where she left off. Andre.
Okay, let's see. Was it somewhere here, maybe? Yep.
Yeah, we were talking about the healthy eating and how it's important and the things that it can, especially in the area of performance of work.
Perfect. So healthy eating is very important. It plays a big role in our long-term health. It reduces the risk for chronic diseases like cardiovascular diseases, some types of cancers, type 2 diabetes, and osteoporosis. And I said before that if you have any questions about these diseases, we can discuss it later, or you can send your question to Q&A. When we eat healthy, we reduce the stress on our body. We build a very strong and enduring foundation. We reduce the stress, oxidation, and inflammation. We definitely increase our immune system as well. We definitely keep an ideal body weight when we eat healthy. We increase our longevity, and definitely by eating healthy, there is a profound effect on our productivity at work. So it's very important to promote healthy eating at work. We can promote that as employees or as employers. When we promote a healthy eating at work, we provide a safe and a healthy environment for our employees. And definitely we have healthy employees. And I found that in 1817, a Welsh activist, Robert Owen, he had a slogan that made him famous. He said, 8 hours labor, 8 hours recreational, and 8 hours rest. Since 1817, that didn't work up to 1914, where Ford, the motor company, they kept their working hours up to 8 hours. They reduced basically the hours of their employees, and they found out that they had a better productivity. So it's very important when we definitely work less hours. 8 hours per day is the hours that is better to work instead of working for over 50 hours per week. There is a slide that is missing, but I will find it out later. So it's very important to keep our working hours up to 8 hours per day. And I found that in very big companies, the workers actually work for only 3 hours a day. So there was a big study that was made, and they found that the workers worked only for 3 hours per day. They were reading news in the websites for 1 hour and 5 minutes. They were checking the social media for 44 minutes. They were discussing with their co-workers for 40 minutes, searching for new jobs for 26 minutes per day, taking some smoke breaks for 23 minutes, making calls to each other for 18 minutes per day, making their hot drinks or their cold drinks in Cyprus for 17 minutes, texting for 14 minutes, eating snacks for 8 minutes. That's why I bolted this part there, because from those 8 hours we spend only 8 minutes to eat, and making some food in the office for 7 minutes. So to make our food, to prepare our food at work and eat our meals or snacks throughout the day, we only spend about 15 minutes, which is nothing. 15 to 20 minutes it should take us to have our main meal, especially our lunch meal. So imagine how stressed we are or how busy we are when we eat. Yeah, that was a slide that I was looking before. So when people are working for over 50 hours per week, their productivity falls, and there is a drop off a cliff when they work for over 55 hours per week. And the last studies found out that 52% of the employees, they work more than 8 hours per day, and that causes them a lot of stress. In the Scandinavian countries, and in one of the Scandinavian countries, in Denmark, the most companies follow the 38-hour shift work per week. So that makes the country one of the happiest, because their employees, they don't work for over 30 hours per week. I wish that was used in Cyprus as well. We will be one of the happiest countries in Europe. So happiness at work is very important. It increases our performance at work and our productivity. So when we are more happy, we are making better decisions, we have a better memory, we learn more effectively, we solve problems more quickly, our creativity is better, and we have a better mental energy, we are more consistent to our work, we have a better drive and motivation at work, we are better team players, we have a better success, and definitely more positive. So it's important to be happy at work, and definitely do not work so many hours. And that's a thing that will make us healthier, definitely, in combination with our nutrition habits and definitely our physical habits. So promoting healthy eating at work It will have a reduction in the absent days. When we overwork, we are very stressed, and definitely we become tired more quickly, and definitely we will feel this chronic fatigue, and there will be a day that we cannot go to work. So we will have an absence to our workplace. When we eat healthy at work, there will be a reduction in the rates of injury and disability, on the prescription drug costs, medical costs, on the workers' compensation. We will definitely ask for an early retirement. And there are so many things that are related when we don't care about ourselves. So it's very important to eat healthy, being more physically healthier, and that's gonna help us to improve our productivity and performance at work. So let's get into more nutrition tips for workplace. It's very important to make healthier choices in the snacks and food we take with us at work. Healthier beverages is very important to keep a smoke-free environment at work and a stress-free environment at work. If you see at the left-hand side, you will see these colors. We call it a rainbow diet. When we have all these colors in our diet, then we have a balanced diet as well. It's very important to have the red colors to have a stronger blood health. It's very important to have the orange colors in our nutrition. Orange colors, they make us happier. It's very important to have the green colors and the purple colors. That's to make sure that we keep our iron levels balanced. So a rainbow diet is one of the tips that I'm giving you today. Never exclude any color from your diet. All the colors are important. It's important to take with us at work foods that are in the low GI. Low GI is the glycemic index. So when we go to work, it's very important to take with us snacks and foods that belong to the low GI list. And I will show you later what the low GI list is. Don't miss on hydration. Hydration is very important. Hydration, when we are well hydrated, we are more mentally energetic. Our brain is still working. It doesn't feel tired. Hydration is important for the blood circulation as well. When we sit all these hours at work and we don't have a good blood circulation, hydration is important. It's very important to reduce salt, because I hear many employees, they take with them very salty snacks at work. And we will discuss about later how to reduce salt in our diet. It's important to reduce sugar and caffeine. And we will talk about some healthy snacks and food to take with us at work. So, eat a variety diet. What that means? It's very important to, throughout the day, to have about 4 to 5 servings of vegetables and fruits. In UK, we call it the 5 a day. It's very important to have our 5 a day. 5 a day includes 5 servings of vegetables and fruits per day. The 5 a day rule is important because we will get enough fiber from our fruits and veg. The fiber will help to sustain a good, healthy bowel movement. If we get our 5 a day, we'll get enough vitamins, minerals, so we'll have a better metabolism, better energy throughout the day. And definitely the 5 a day, especially when we have fruits for snacks, that will help us to maintain a stable glucose levels, so we won't have hypoglycemia throughout the day that will cause to look for sweets. Sometimes after sweets, we are looking for salty snacks, and then we repeat. From salty snacks, we go to sugary snacks, and again the salty snacks, and that happens throughout the evening. So it's very important to stick to our 5 a day rule, just to maintain our energy levels throughout the day stable. We can base our meals, we can take with us for lunch, especially lunch, carbohydrates that are high in fiber, like jacket potatoes, where we can use the skin of the potato as well. That will increase the fiber intake. Sweet potatoes are a very good option. It's a very good option to have in our lunch meal. We can have a whole grain bread, either for a breakfast at work or a lunch at work. We can combine our lunch meal with some white rice or some whole wheat pastas. The reason I'm mentioning carbohydrates is because carbohydrates, they give us energy. So it's very important to combine carbohydrates with our breakfast and lunch meal. Carbohydrates, they give us energy for 2 to 3 hours, especially when they are high in fiber. The fiber makes carbohydrates to release their energy slow, so they give us sustainable energy. If we have for lunch just protein, let's say our vegetables with only protein, protein is not a high energy meal. Protein doesn't give us energy, and especially at lunch, it can take energy from us. Protein, it takes about 4 to 5 hours to get digested. So in those 4 to 5 hours, our body feels tired because it absorbs a lot of energy to break down protein. So it's important to have carbohydrates for breakfast and lunch.
A question for you, Andre, on this same topic. Since carbohydrates are important, question is, does it make any difference as to the interval that we eat it? Like when we eat it, after how long we should have the next one? I mean, some people often, they have something in the morning and then they'll remember to eat again in the afternoon. What is your advice on this, on the interval between when people are eating these foods to help them to maintain their level of energy?
Perfect question. So it's very important to eat every 2 to 3 hours. Very important. Yeah, maximum 3 hours is good to have our meals and snacks throughout the day. When we stay without food for over 3 hours, around 3 hours and 35 minutes, we're breaking down our muscles to get energy. So it's important to have our snacks and meals every 2 to 3 hours. If there is a person who is very active and has a lot of muscle mass and wants to retain the muscles, and that person wants to have good energy levels throughout the day and don't burn any muscle throughout the day, that person is good to have his or her snacks every 2 to 2.5 hours.
So since we're talking about the workplace, the advice here would be then to keep something of a snack type easily accessible on your desk or something, so that you can actually access it a couple of hours, because obviously at work everyone's very busy and it's often not feasible to even get up from the desk to go every 2 hours and eat something. So that's a good piece of advice there, to have something perhaps on your desk that makes it easy to have a quick snack.
That's right, yes.
Thank you.
And we will talk about the snacks later on. And it's good throughout the day to have some dairy or non-dairy products, just to keep our calcium intake. We can have some dairy products, let's say from, we can combine our fruit with a piece of cheese or some halloumi or some yogurt. If we don't eat dairy, we can combine our snacks, let's say our fruit, with some almonds. Almonds is a great source of calcium. Don't forget to have your protein throughout the day. Protein includes beans and pulses, fish, eggs, meat. And if you don't eat meat, we can discuss about the meat alternatives later. And definitely don't forget to have your healthy fats throughout the day. Healthy fats, that's another big question. The first energy our body takes, it comes from fats. So it's very important to have healthy fats throughout the day. Healthy fats throughout the day, we can get them from nuts and seeds. We can get them from some, like a small portion of avocado. We can even add some healthy fats in our meals, let's say in our breakfast, in our lunch, or between our snacks. A healthy fat is even peanut butter or almond butter. It's a great snack to have throughout the day. That's gonna make us feel fuller for longer, and we will get the healthy fats from the nut butter. So let's talk about the low GI that we spoke about it earlier. It's very important to separate the carbohydrates, because there are good carbohydrates and definitely bad carbohydrates. So when we talk about carbohydrates, it's good to choose our carbohydrates from the low GI list. When we follow a low GI diet, we can lose our excess body weight if we have any. We can even stable our glucose throughout the day. And we can even make our heart healthier, reduce the cholesterol levels, and definitely have a sustainable energy throughout the day, being more alert, and definitely increase our cognitive performance. So the low GI, if you see on your right hand side, it's better when we choose our carbohydrates with a GI lower than 55. When we keep, when we use the low GI food that is lower than 55, we have a better blood sugar level. When we have a medium GI, then we have a higher sugar level in our body. And definitely when the GI in foods is higher than 70, then we have a rapid increase in our blood sugar. So when there is a rapid increase, it means that something really high in sugar, it will increase our blood sugar levels. We will have an energy for, let's say, about 20 minutes. And after those 20 minutes of a really quick energy in our body, our glucose levels drop. and then it's like we feel really tired, and when we feel that, it's like we want another sugary snack or sugary drink to increase our glucose level back to normal. So it's important to choose from the low GI list, and that will help us to have a more sustained energy level throughout the day. And if you see at the left-hand side, you will see some example of what the low GI foods are. So the low GI foods are apples, peaches, pears, strawberries. We can have those throughout the day. We can select them for snacks. Let's say our mid-morning snack and our mid-evening snack. It can be an apple, it can be the figs, we can choose the apricots, we can even choose an avocado with, let's say, 2 rice cakes for an evening snack. And the list is very big. I'm just showing you some examples of the low GI foods that we can have throughout the day. If you have any question about the low GI food, we can discuss it later, because there is the low GI and the glycemic load, the GL. So sometimes we can have the watermelon, which it says that it has 76 GI, but the glycemic load, let's say the glycemic load, it shows the glucose in our blood 2 hours later after we had, let's say, the watermelon. Then GL of watermelon in 2 hours, it's less than 13 GI. So we can combine the GI with the low glycemic load, the GL. Hydration. Hydration is important to increase our productivity throughout the day, even if we are at work or even if we have a day off and we don't want to run out of energy. So a study in 2013 showed that drinking water increased the productivity by 14%. When we are well hydrated, and definitely we work faster at work and at home. And I wrote here how to control and measure how much water or fluids you need to take throughout the day. So an adult during winter time should aim for 30 ml of fluid or water per body weight. And during summer period is 35 ml per body weight. So if, let's say, we have 70 kilo adult, in winter time, that adult should drink 2.1 liters per day, and in summertime should be about 2.4, 2.5 liters per day. That's excluding the exercise. So if you went to the gym or if you walked or cycled throughout the day, you have to increase your fluid intake, definitely. When we speak about hydration, it includes just pure water. It includes the water with a slice of fruit. That's really nice for summertime. To add some fruits in your water, you're increasing the electrolytes in the water. And the latest studies found out that the water we drink is 37% less in electrolytes than it was about 50 years ago. So by adding a slice of fruit in our water, we increase the electrolytes in the water. That helps to absorb the water faster and definitely excrete any water retention we have. It also The hydration also includes the milk and the pure freshly made juice. So if we have freshly made juice made at that time, that is included in the fluid intake of the day. So hydration is very important, as we said before. Just make sure that if you have any drinks or beverages throughout the day that say that are sugar-free, or they're herbal drinks, or they're vitamin drinks, or they're natural drinks, or they give you power, just always read the label. It's very important to read the label, as some of those beverages and those drinks we get from the market, they may be often they're really high in sugar. So there's a food label here where you can make your choices when you are buying a beverage, or when you are buying, let's say, a cereal bar or a snack. When you buy something that you didn't make it yourself, always read the label. So just check the nutritional information at the back of the product, and always try to be at the green color. So let's say the sugar intake, the sugar in that product should be per 100 grams, should be less than 5 grams. That's the healthy option. Or the less healthy option, definitely less than 15 grams of sugar per 100 grams of the product. You can check about the fat and the saturated fat as well, and the salt, which is very important to check the sodium in the products you buy. So very important to reduce the salt in your diet, very important. Some employees, they come to my office and they tell me that around 4 or 5 o'clock, before they finish work, they want something salty, and they often looking for some crisp or salty snacks. But salt is a bit dangerous for our health. It's very important to keep the sodium less than 500 milligrams per day, and that is not happening. In America, they found out that the Americans, they consume 3,400 milligrams per day, and eating that much salt, it causes water retention, which definitely water retention means weight gain. It increases the blood pressure, and definitely we have kidney damage, heart damage, and brain damage by eating too much salt. So to reduce the salt throughout the day, here are some tips. Always read the label. It's very important to make your snacks on your own. When you buy packaged snacks and food, most of the times they will be high in sodium, as they use sodium to preserve the food. When you buy low sodium salt, yes, it's low in sodium, but at the same time it has a lot of preservatives. So use the original, let's say, table salt, instead of buying the low sodium salt. That's happening with the soya sauce as well. I saw that there is low sodium soy sauce, and when I checked the label and the ingredients list, it's really high in preservatives. So why you want to lower the sodium in your diet and then get filled with all these preservatives, which are most of the time toxic? So use the original table salt or the Himalayan salt if you want, or the sea salt, but in smaller quantities, definitely. Another way to reduce salt is to use a salt-free bread. The bread in nowadays, the bread that we don't make and we buy it from the bakeries, is really high in salt. So it's important to check the label of bread as well. In nowadays, all the breads we buy, they have their labels, so it's easy to buy the low sodium bread when you check the label. And try to maintain two pinch of salt per day. And you can add them in your food when you prepare your food. Never add extra salt while you're eating. And instead of salt, to give the taste to your meals, you can add some herbs and spices. So, a way to reduce sugar. Again, you will see your co-workers that they bring these cereal bars that are ready-made from all these big brands. But if you check the sugar content, is unbelievable. I mean, there are so many cereal bars that often your co-workers take with them at work that say that they are 80 calories, 90 calories, 100 calories, but the sugar content is really high. Just keep in your mind that 1 teaspoon of sugar equals to 4 grams. So when you buy a product, always check the sugar. You will be amazed of how much sugar you can find in those healthy bars. So sugar is a leading cause for many diseases like diabetes, like cancer, like obesity, heart diseases, arthritis. Sugar increases inflammation, and inflammation can cause arthritis and many other problems. And definitely sugar is one of the reasons that we have gallstones. Most of the times we need to remove our gallbladder because it has stones. And sugar as well, it causes dental problems, especially kids. It's unbelievable how many kids nowadays they have dental problems because they eat so much sugar. And you will find that in the low-fat products you buy from the shop or from the market, when they say, when they label a product with low fat, that means that they remove a lot of fat, so they make it low fat, but they add a lot of sugar to give taste to that product. So you are buying a product that is low in fat, but really high in sugar. No one will tell you that it's high in sugar. But if you turn and see the label at the back of the product, you will see that when you are holding an original product with a low-fat product, you will see that the low-fat product, it's higher in carbohydrates and sugars than the original product. So what's the reason to get the low-fat product when you get all the sugar? And don't forget that fat, especially in dairies, is needed to absorb the calcium and vitamin D. How many people you have around you that are low in vitamin D or they have osteoporosis? All this can be prevented if we just stick to our regular dairy products without being low fat. And definitely just have them in smaller amounts. And I found out that people who eat low-fat products, they don't feel fuller. They don't feel full. Sorry, and they want to eat more, and they're overeating when they have low-fat cheese, let's say, in their sandwich, or when they have a low-fat yogurt. They don't feel full, and they overeat and looking for other snacks just to control their appetite. So when you want to have something sweet throughout the day, you can use a plain yogurt and add some fresh fruit in your yogurt. You can even add some maple syrup, agave syrup, or some honey if you want. This is a way to control the sugar instead of buying a ready-made yogurt. You can use avocado as a condiment to your snacks. Avocado is high in omega-3s, and bear in mind that omega-3s they help to control the glucose levels throughout the day. So have healthy fats throughout the day. We have a better control in our sugar level. You can use some tomato sauce instead of a ketchup that is high in sugar. You can drizzle some oil and vinegar instead of buy the ready dressing, like those Thousand Island dressings, like the Caesar dressing, which are really high in unhealthy fats and a lot of sugar. When you are exercising, you can use the coconut water instead of a ready sports drink, or you can make even your own electrolytes at home. You can swap soda for sparkling water. You can sprinkle some cinnamon in your coffee instead of adding extra sugar. And you can eat some berries or another fruit as a dessert, or as a, let's say, a more sweet snack throughout the day. And definitely, instead of buying a ready, let's say, if you buy instead of buying a ready granola, you can make your own granola at home. It's easy to make a granola at home. Just use some oats with some nuts and dried fruits. You can drizzle them with some coconut oil and add them in the oven for, let's say, 10-15 minutes, and you make your own granola instead of buy the ready-made granola that is really high in sugar. Instead of buying a muslin bar, you can have some almonds, or you can even make your own homemade granola bars or muslin bars. You can even make your own energy bars. If you have any questions about how to make the energy bars or the energy balls, as we call them, we can talk about it in the Q&A session. Instead of having a soda drink, we can have a flavored sparkling water, or we can add some fruits in our water. Very important to reduce caffeine. When I have some customers when they come for their first appointment, and I ask them how much caffeine they have, I hear some numbers like 4 to 10 and up to 15 cups a day, which is really, really high. Well, I did some research to see what's going on the last few years with studies about coffee. And I found out that most of the studies, they say that when we have over 400 milligrams of caffeine per day is safe. But when I measure my clients and I see that they have really high water retention, I always ask them how much caffeine they have. Most of the times, people with high water retention, they drink more than 2 cups of coffee a day. So it's very important to keep our caffeine levels low. Up to 200 milligrams of caffeine per day is okay. And that equals to 2 shots of espresso. But do you know how many shots of espresso you have in your Freddo espresso or in your Freddo cappuccino? When I asked some coffee companies, there was a coffee company that shocked me. I will not say the name of it because it's really famous. They told me that in a Freddo espresso, in a regular Freddo espresso, they add 5 shots of espresso, and I was shocked. 5 shots, it means 500 milligrams of caffeine in one drink. That can raise your blood sugar, your blood pressure. It can cause heart problems, and it causes palpitation. It can be diuretic at the same time. It can cause hydration, and that will definitely reduce our productivity at work. So it's important to limit your caffeine. You can have up to 2 cups a day, but be very careful with the ready coffees that you buy from the coffee shops. And here are some milligrams of caffeine you can find in your coffees and teas. So, as we are reaching the end of our presentation, let's see some healthy snacks that you can take with you at work. And as we said before, try to have your snacks and meals every 2 to 3 hours, the maximum. That will help you to have a better energy level throughout the day. So definitely the best snacks to take with you are the fresh fruit. If it's not fresh fruit, it can be a fresh squeezed juice, or it can be a smoothie. Smoothies and fresh juice, sometimes they work a bit better than have a piece of fruit, as they are high in fiber and you can enjoy them while you are at work. You can enjoy them in your, let's say, big glass with a straw in it, and you can drink it slowly when you are at work. It can be a really nice a way to get your energy by having a smoothie at work, because you can enjoy your smoothie in like 2 hours when you're at work, so you don't have to run to the kitchen, prepare your snack and bring it back to the back to your work office. You can even have some unsweetened dried fruits throughout the day. The dried fruits, they give us energy for, let's say, about 2 hours. So it's not a snack that will give you energy for 30 minutes, 1 hour. So you can use dried fruits throughout the day. You can even use fresh vegetables. You can even combine them with some tahini or hummus or yogurt or tzatziki throughout the day. They are very filling. You can take with you some whole grain crackers. Some of these brands are Wasa crackers or Rivita crackers. Rice cakes is a good option. You can even combine rice cakes with nut butter, peanut butter or almond butter. That will definitely keep you feel fuller for up to 3 hours. You can have some unsalted roasted nuts to get your healthy fats from. You can make them at home if you want, and instead of salt, you can add spices and some coconut oil and just add them in the oven and roast them. And they're really great for a snack at work. You can take with you some Greek or probiotic yogurt. Greek yogurt, again, it's a really nice way to get hydration, as yogurt is high in water. You can get your calcium from the yogurt, and definitely your probiotics, which are very, very important. It's a really important source of probiotic, as well as kefir, as they are the only two products that are really high in probiotics. Probiotics are very important for to have a healthy bowel movement, and definitely to have a healthy digestion, and definitely a better immune system. Another idea for snack is to combine a piece of cheese with your fruit. That will make you feel fuller when you combine a fruit with some protein, and definitely that helps you to retain your muscle mass when you have protein throughout the day. You can make your own granola bars, or your homemade energy balls. Energy balls are made from dried fruits, nuts, oats, and some honey. Just mix them all in the blender, and then just make your own truffles. You can even use for lunch, instead of salad with some protein, you can even use some whole grain pizza bread. You can add in your pizza some avocado, eggs, chicken, with some vegetables. You can take with you a salad with quinoa or buckwheat, and combine it with some cheese, cottage cheese, yogurt. Any kind of cheese in your salad is a good choice. Quinoa and buckwheat are cereals that are high in protein, and they make us feel fuller for longer as well, and they give us the energy we're looking throughout the day. You can have your salad with some eggs or chicken, and combine it with some baked potato or a slice of whole grain bread. You can even have a salad or a bowl of vegetables with some hummus or tahini for protein, or to get our healthy fats, and combine it with some whole grain bread is another option.
I think Andre's making us ready for dinner for your lovely ideas here. I think there's some lovely ideas there for lunch, which is, I think, a big issue for a lot of people in the workplace, of what to take. What to take to the office that's going to be fast, that you can just quickly get it from the fridge, eat it relatively fast. So I think that's given us some lovely ideas. Let's see, we've got a few more minutes here. If we can just see what other few last minute hints Andre can give us.
So we talk about smoothies, and the chia pudding is something that is really nice to have even for breakfast or for a snack. Chia pudding is just some chia seeds soaked overnight in yogurt, or in some milk, or even a non-dairy milk. Buddha balls is a nice option. Buddha ball is just a rainbow. It's a rainbow plate, as we call it. You can even make some. You can even search it on Google to see what Buddha ball is. Buddha ball combines everything in your plate, from protein to carbs to healthy fats to vegetables, and it gives you all these different colors, as the jar you see on the screen. And even smoothie bowls are a nice way to have, even for snack or for breakfast. Is there something else that I missed? Yep.
I think you covered a lot, Andre. I think there's some lovely ideas there from Andre as to things to take to the office. I think also some lovely things to think about with regards to maybe some of the snacks that we thought were healthy. Andre mentioned the cereals we perhaps bring to work, the cereal bars, which I think generally people tend to think they're healthy. So I think a strong message there is check the labels, and let's see if what we thought was healthy actually is healthy. with regards to the ready-made things, and of course wherever possible to make our own. That's not always feasible. I'm sure there are some things on the market that are healthy, so I guess once we've read the labels we'll be able to decide. I'm getting some thanks in the chat now. Some people are looking to be leaving. We're coming up to the end of our time. Some of the questions that were earlier, I think, were actually answered by Andre in the last couple of slides with regards to the types of things that we wanted to hear as to what can we take to work. And the other important thing to take away from that, of course, is the regulatory. So how often should we be eating? So let's not leave our stomachs open for empty for hours on end, which I think is the other message. I'm just quickly seeing if we've got any other quick questions from anybody. Otherwise, we're going to quickly be coming to an end. We're just a little bit over our time. Thank you for your thank yous. We're getting some nice messages. I don't know if Andre's reading them as well. Thank you, Andre, always positive. I think we don't have any other questions from what I can see. So first of all, a big thank you to everybody for joining us today. We hope that you've taken away some hints and some helpful information that's going to help you be a little bit healthier, know what to take to work, and give us a bit of extra energy during our day by eating well. Thank you very much, Andre, for joining us today. And we hope to see everybody again soon. Very good evening. Goodbye.